Hi guys, have you seen Pompeo's latest interview? It's gold.
And Mr. Secretary, have you seen anything that gives you high confidence that it originated in that Wuhan lab?
I can tell you that there is a significant amount of evidence that this came from that laboratory in Wuhan.
This is gonna be good, right? Finally, there's a proof. Even I'm a little bit excited for this. Despite scientists from around the world declaring the virus has a natural origin, the all-knowing American government has still managed to find proof to the contrary. I cannot wait to see the proof.
Do you believe it was man-made or genetically modified?
Look, the best experts so far seem to think it was man-made. I have no reason to disbelieve that at this point.
Yeah, I get it. Show us the proof, please.
Your Office of the DNI says the consensus, the scientific consensus, was not man-made or genetically modified.
That's right. I agree with that. Yeah, I've seen their analysis. I've seen the summary that you saw that was released publicly. I have no reason to doubt that that is accurate.
Wait, do you believe it's man-made or not?
Okay, so just to be clear, you do not think it was man-made or genetically modified?
I've seen what the intelligence committee has said. I have no reason to believe that they've got it wrong.
So, let's unpack this. You believe the claim that the virus was man-made, and you also believe the scientific consensus that it was not man-made. Is contradiction some contagious disease in the White House? Why everybody in the White House keeps contradicting themselves? Hey, I'm Li Jingjing. I'm still in quarantine, and today I want to talk about how dangerous some campaigns can be. Trump and Pompeo keep saying they have substantial evidence to prove their conspiracy theories, yet haven't released any to the public. But does it matter to them whether they have solid proof? All they need to do is to change public's view about who is responsible. A report published on Gray Zone says, a conspiracy theory about COVID-19 escaping from China's Wuhan Institute of Virology is the Trump administration's Iraqi WMD, a valid comparison. It seems the American government is using a similar tactic they used 17 years ago on Iraq. In 2003, the US led the invasion of Iraq and justified their actions by saying Saddam Hussein possessed a pile of weapons of mass destruction. Yet after bombing Baghdad and brought chaos to the Middle East, no WMDs were found. But after a long propaganda campaign by the Bush administration, a Gallup poll before the invasion shows that 64% of Americans were in favor of the war. And that number further rose to 72% a few days after the invasion. And Bush's approval up by 13 points. So now do you see how dangerous these campaigns can be? Not only do they gloss over their mistakes, these fear-mongering, demonizing campaigns will eventually make public believe that bombing and invading other countries is justified. So they are shifting the blames from the Trump administration's mishandling of this pandemic, which led millions of Americans infected, and inciting hatred towards China, making the public believe China is the source of their misery. Even during this pandemic, they've never taken a break from this China blame game. The White House is not only pushing US officials to blame China, now they're enlisting their foreign allies to join this blame game. But you know what? It's a political game. I get it. Every politician does that. And apparently Trump administration does that because they want to stay in power. But do you seriously want to play this game while sacrificing the lives of Americans in the process? In the Iraq War, not only the people of Iraq and the general Middle East were suffered. Trillions of dollars were spent in the failed war. Thousands of Americans sacrificed their lives. And there were way too many other consequences to name in a video this short. As the pandemic wreaks havoc, America has the most cases than any other countries in the world. Maybe you should provide humanitarian aid for your own people first before helping people in other countries.
Well, you know, when I listen to the press every night saying we don't have the most in the world deaths.
The Trump administration cares more about money, power than protecting American lives, which should be their main objective. Although the Trump administration has produced zero evidence to prove their conspiracy theories, their constant China-blaming propaganda is working. According to a recent Pew Research Center survey, roughly 2/3 of Americans say they now have an unfavorable view of China, the most negative rating since 2005, and up by nearly 20 percentage points since the start of the Trump administration.
China.
In order to pass the buck of their incompetent handling of this outbreak, Washington has become passionate about peddling conspiracy theories, blaming their shortcomings on other countries. That reminds me of something that Pompeo said himself.
I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
That explains a lot. And by the way, what American experiment you're referring to, Pompeo?